All right, everybody, welcome back to Bad Luck Garage, where I'm actually in a good mood. So we got our Elgin 1840p cam, otherwise known as a sloppy stage 2, the Pack 1218 springs, put in Chaos Theory. Guys, yeah, whole different animal now. I'm really happy with the way this car is performing. I've already taken it for a drive. Actually, I've been driving it all day. Just been kind of cruising around, you know, trying to let the Holly do its thing, and well, that's part of the reason I'm in a good mood. Because my Holly HP actually decided to start doing its freaking job. I don't know what I did, guys. I have no freaking clue what I did. But for some reason, the closed loop fueling seems to be working the way it's supposed to now. Now, I'd originally went in and changed the parameters that Devin Vanderhoof and Brent Spence, a couple other people had told me to change. It didn't really seem to help that much. But I went in and I kind of limited what it was allowed to do. So like I cut everything down to like 25%. So it could not correct past 25%. And it was still acting kind of wonky before, but for some reason, after I put this cam in, it just started freaking acting right. I don't get it. The cam shouldn't have anything to do with the closed loop fueling. I know that. Makes no sense whatsoever. But guys, I've been beating the shit out of this car for, well, half the freaking day today, and the closed loop fueling's been spot on. You know, the closed loop learn tables, I've been transferring them over, and everything seems to be good. I mean, it's pretty much tracing an AFR line. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to roll in some clips of me driving the car, kind of hammer it on a little bit, and we'll talk about that afterwards, and we'll also talk about these goodies that I got from UMI. We're going to be unboxing these later in the video. These are some suspension goodies that hopefully are going to help me get this thing to hook on the no prep up at English Mountain. And yeah, so I'm going to roll that footage now, and I'll be back. Yeah, the shifts are so much better now. This converter's working so much better with this cam, guys. Oh yeah, way better, way better. You can actually tell it's shifting gears now. I'm just trying to get a little bit of cruising and a couple wide open throttle pulls in, just to let the Holly kind of figure out the fueling. I'll talk about it more after I get done driving. Quick little pull from a dead stop. I figured the drag radials were warm enough that it might grab, but nah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's doing like a little bit over 70 in first gear now. Something along those lines. And it's getting there quick. We're not even using the nitrous yet. I think we're gonna see a big improvement at the track. Big improvement. Not just because of the cam, but also because the cam is working better with the converter. Like I said, I'm gonna explain all that in a few minutes. when you can actually hear me worth a damn. But I kept telling you guys, you know, this converter was acting funny, or appeared to be acting funny because of the stock cam. Apparently that's exactly what was going on, because it's doing exactly what it should now. God, this thing sounds good too. Nice chug. God, it just jumps to 7,000 so fast. I can only imagine on the nitrous, it's going to be stupid. I'm guessing it's a 7-second. You know, it's in the 7s now, probably just on motor. If I had to guess what it feels like. Stand in the middle so you can hear both sides at the same time. It sounds pretty damn good. All right, guys, I think you could tell in the video, but CC here is working great, working fantastic. Since we swapped out the cam, the new converter, well, I'm sorry, the old converter seems to be working very well with the new cam, and I want to talk about that a second. A lot of you guys kept, you know, you were watching the videos and you kept saying you're blowing through the converter, you're blowing through the converter, and I kept trying to tell you guys, I'm not blowing through the converter, it's the shift points that I'm being forced to use with the stock cam. So I want to elaborate on that just a little bit for you guys, because you know, a few of you, I tried to explain it in text on both the group page and in the comment section on some of the videos. I don't know if I was, you know, I'm better at explaining things in video is what I'm trying to say. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So here's what was going on, guys. There are a lot of things that affects where a converter stalls, okay? The converter that's in this car, it is a B&M nitrous whole shot converter. 3,800 stall is what it's rated at. Supposedly it's rated to 800 horsepower. Obviously I'm making nowhere near that. Even on the bottle, I'm making nowhere near that. And what a lot of you guys weren't able to wrap your heads around is why this thing was flashing so high with a stock cam and an engine that was probably only making like 320 horsepower max. So here's the deal, guys. Like I just said, a lot of things will affect your stall speed and your flash speed. Most of these converters, when they rate them, they're rating them for a specific amount of torque output at, say, I think a lot of them are rated at 2,500 RPMs. So, like if your engine, if they rate a converter to stall to 3,800 or to flash to 3,800, however you want to look at it, with 250 foot-pounds of torque at, say, 2,500 RPMs, and you put an engine in there that is making 300 foot-pounds of torque at 2,500 RPMs, that converter is going to flash considerably higher than what it's supposed to. Now, the issue with me running a stock cam, guys, a 3,800 stall nitrous converter is not really intended, I don't know how to put this. Like, they're not expecting you to put a freaking torquey stock cam behind a converter that huge, okay? They're expecting a big cam that makes shit torque down low and makes more power up high. So basically what's going on is, because I had a stock cam in this engine, this is the first problem, because I had a stock cam in this engine, it was making a lot more down low torque than that converter, we'll say, was rated for, okay? that converter was rated for something that was going to make most of its power from like 3,000 up. And obviously the stock cam, you know, it reaches its torque peak a lot earlier than an aftermarket cam does. So that's one of the reasons the converter was flashing a lot higher than it should have, is just because, not that the engine was making more power, but it was making peak power at a lower RPM, which was forcing the converter to flash higher. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. That's the best I can do. Now, the second problem you guys were seeing, and the problem that a lot of you were interpreting as me blowing through the converter, was being caused by where I was forced to shift at. Now, back to the whole flash thing. This converter, you know, off the bottle, just on motor with the stock cam, it was flashing to like 4,000 almost 4,500 RPMs. All right. On the nitrous, on the smaller shot, it was flashing to around 5,000 RPMs. Now the problem with that is, with the stock cam, this engine makes no power above 5,500. So here's how I'm explaining this, guys. When I shift, I should get over 1,000 RPM drop from first gear shifting into second gear, somewhere around 1,000 RPM, something like that. Well, what happens is, if I'm shifting at 5,500, but the converter is flashing to 5,000, then what's happening is, when I shift, instead of, you know, a hard shift, it's falling right back into that sloppy flash range of the converter. So the converter is never grabbing, if that makes sense. And it gives you the illusion in the videos, if you go back and watch the videos with the stock converter on the nitrous, it gives you the illusion that it's almost like I'm one long continuous gear. It makes it look like I'm blowing through the converter. But what's actually happening is, I wasn't able to rev the engine out high enough to fall back into a range where the converter was already locked, if that makes sense. So anyway, as you can see in this video, the footage that I showed you just a minute ago, we no longer have that issue. Now we're revving it out to about 6,800. I'm shifting. It's falling back to like 55, 5,600, somewhere in there. And it's a nice, firm, hard shift. Anyway, the point is, guys, I was not blowing through the converter. I was just being forced to shift at too low of an RPM for such a loose converter. Hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, I tried to explain that to some of you guys in text. I don't know if it came out the right way, but as you can see now, the converter's working fine. It's holding the power fine. I'm not blowing through the converter. As a matter of fact, even on the nitrous, I should not blow through this converter. This converter is rated at like 800 horsepower. On the bottle, I might be lucky to be making like 600. It just depends on how much I spray, but it shouldn't be a problem. If it is a problem, then, you know, this converter's just wrung out. It's seen enough action, and, you know, I may need to send it in, get it freshened up or something. But my point is, the converter's working great now. It loves this cam. The car is working great now. Obviously, it's not hooking for shit. But we're going to do something about that. Some of the stuff I got in these boxes back here might actually help us with that. So I'm going to go ahead, show you guys what I got in the boxes, and yeah, we'll talk about that. So here's the deal, guys. I've actually reached out to UMI. I told you when I first started this build that I was going to use all UMI chassis and suspension products on this car. It's mainly because UMI just makes a really fantastic product, a lot of attention to detail in the welds, the way it's put together, the materials. You know, I looked over, I'm not going to mention any other company names, but I looked through all your common, you know, third-gen Camaro suspension and chassis companies, and I decided on UMI. Now, UMI is not the cheapest. Actually, UMI is probably one of the most expensive as far as the type of suspension and chassis parts, you know, that we're going to be using on this project. You know, this is one of those areas where you pay for quality. But I'd also told you guys I was going to reach out to UMI, maybe talk to them about a sponsorship. I did that. And while they are not able to provide me with a sponsorship at this time, I will say they were generous in working with me on whatever parts I have to use. So for the time being, I'm going to take what I can get, and here's what I got so far. Now you guys know we're already running a UMI transmission mount, or I mean a UMI transmission cross member, a UMI adjustable torque arm, and UMI engine mounts. So when I reached out to him, I told him I really wanted to start working on the rear suspension. You can see when I'm launching, the car's kind of doing some wonky stuff, especially when I was up at English Mountain. You could see the car dipping and shaking and carrying on. So I wanted to address some of the sloppiness in the rear end of the car first. Obviously, I would love to just buy their whole complement of parts, put it all on at once, but we don't have that kind of budget here. So here it is, guys. We got an adjustable anti-roll bar for the back of the car with all the hardware. We got a set of offset adjustable lower control arms. These are on-car adjustable lower control arms. You don't have to take them off to adjust them. And we got some lower control arm adjustable brackets here, so we can, you know, kind of set our anti-squat level. Now I'm going to be doing installation videos. I'll be probably the next video you see for an install on CC, on Chaos Theory, will be the lower control arms and the adjustable brackets for the lower control arms. I will go over my reasoning for the offset control arms and the brackets and what they do, how they're going to help you hook, things like that. I'll go over that in the installation video. Then we'll be doing another installation video with our adjustable anti-roll bar here. Now, this is going to require just a little bit of welding. I'm not going to do that. What we're going to do, you can actually bolt this together and you can drive on it just fine, but UMI recommends, before doing any heavy competition use with it, that you go ahead and weld the brackets for the adjustable end links to the body of the car, because you can shear the bolts off if you put enough stress on them. So we'll be doing an installation video on that later, and we'll probably be taking the car over to my cousin Brad, and he can do the welding for me. Or if he's not available, I mean, you know, we can just take it to an exhaust shop. It'll literally take an exhaust shop probably 10 minutes to put a few beads around these brackets right here, so that's not a big deal. Now we also got a new hardware kit. And this is for the lower control arms. We just went ahead and got all new bolts and everything. It was like $12 for the kit here. Of course, UMI gave me a ton of stickers, decals with this, but you guys know, well, I've said from the beginning with Chaos Theory, if you're not a sponsor, you're not getting decal real estate on this car. I'm going to make a small exception with UMI, just for the simple fact they did give me a really good deal on this stuff, and an opportunity to get a really good deal on more of the parts I need in the future. So we'll give them a little bit, of real estate. I'll put a couple decals on the car there. How about that? Now the really cool thing is they also threw in a little bit of merch for me. So we got us a nice UMI fitted hat here, which I really like these hats, guys. You can kind of see the Holly EFI hat, you know, it's the same type of hat. I like the flex fit. So anyway, we got that, and they also gave us a banner to hang up in the garage, which was pretty darn cool, I think. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice UMI banner. We'll take some votes on where to put that. We'll probably hang the UMI banner just right here. I was going to say we can vote on it, but guys, you know, when a company like this, when they help me out and they send me a banner, I want to put it somewhere where it's going to be shown in a lot of videos. That wall obviously is shown in a lot of videos because I work on the cars right here. So yeah, we'll probably drop the UMI banner right over there. And like I said before, guys, UMI is not a sponsor right now. I don't want to put out any false information, but they are helping me out on pricing a little bit. So, you know, kind of hoping that'll turn into a little bit better relationship in the future. You guys can help me with that. Just watch the videos, share them. That's all you got to do. Anyway, like I was saying earlier, guys, I'm in a great mood. The car's running fantastic. We changed the oil. We didn't have anything bad in the oil, just a little hint of glitter from the new rod bearings that we had put in. So I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy about the way the car is running. I'm hoping over the next week, we're probably not going to get the adjustable anti-roll bar installed, but we are going to get the lower control arms and lower control arm brackets installed so we can add some anti-squat to the back. Should help us a little bit with weight transfer, traction. I'm also hoping to be able to get the tune a little more ironed out, possibly tomorrow and definitely by next weekend. Because next weekend, what I would like to do, if everything works out, I would like to actually do 2 track days next week. I would like to go to Knoxville Dragway next Friday night for testing tune on a prepped surface, just so I can get some good hard numbers for you guys, both NA with the new cam and with the nitrous, because, you know, I believe the nitrous is working right now, so we ought to be able to make some hella passes on this. Then once I get the hard numbers for you guys, I would really like to go Saturday or Sunday up to English Mountain, play around up there, adjust on the suspension a little bit now that we're going to have a little bit of adjustability in the rear end, and see what we can do about hooking up there. Because if you remember the last time we were at English Mountain, even on the 150 shot, this thing was just ice skating off the line. So I'd really like to go up there and try to make some solid passes at EMR, because that is the home track for the Bad Luck Garage. So we need to get up there and kind of put in some work and make this car work up there. But anyway, guys, that's your update video for Chaos Theory here. That's what's kind of coming up over the next week or so. Make sure you got your notifications turned on so you don't miss any videos. As always, if you want to know more about this car, this build, or any of the other builds on the channel, there are playlists for each and every build on this channel to tell you everything we've done, show you how we did it. So stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to be installing these lower control arms and adjustable brackets. Make sure you subscribe, then get off the computer, get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.